Okay, so today we are going to be working on a project that we will be using to help remind us of the internet safety rules that we have gone through the last couple of class periods. And so for this project, we can either use Microsoft Word or we can use Pages. Either one works. You can decide which one you would prefer to use. For me, for my example, I'm going to use Microsoft Word, but this easily could be done in Pages the same way. I'm going to go to Microsoft Word, and when this comes up, I have to move my screen over. You won't have to do that. I'm going to go to Newsletters. So we're going to work on using a template. Now, this is something that we did last year as well, so this is a little bit of a review for you. We're going to choose a template that interests us. We can use any of these. For my example right now, I'm going to use, let's see here. I'm going to use this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that and bring up our template. For this one, we are only going to do the first page. You don't have to worry about page 2, page 3, page 4. You can just leave those as is. Now, like before, when we used a template, we want to make sure that we just don't delete all the text boxes and all the pictures, because if we do that, really, we could be doing this just on a plain Microsoft sheet of paper. The idea is to use the template to help organize our thoughts, organize our text so it looks interesting. So this is the area that I'm going to put my title in for this particular newsletter. So I'm just going to click on it and I can go ahead and start typing. So maybe my top title is Internet Safety. You can choose whatever title you want. Maybe instead you do Wanted Webville Outlaws. Now if it does that, you can see that my text disappeared. The reason it did that is because my text is too big. So I need to click on this and select a smaller text so that it fits properly in the space. Let's see, this is size 24, so I'm going to highlight this and choose size 24. Okay, so I want to make sure that it is in the proper space. Notice that I have capital letters for my titles. I want to make sure that I have that. Okay. Then down in this area, maybe I write a description of the Webville Outlaws. Maybe I write recently escaped. Okay. And maybe I write Webville Outlaws. All right. Then down here, I'm going to write just a brief description, and maybe I decide to do all the Webville Outlaws. Now for this assignment, you do need to choose at least one Webville Outlaw. If you want to do all of them, you certainly can, but you have to choose at least one outlaw. So I'm going to click in here and I'm going to start typing. So I might write something along the lines of help. The outlaws have escaped once again. Potty Mouth Pete is spreading rumors. Oops, I forgot the R in there. And using poor language on the web. Meet Me Mac is trying to meet kids offline. So maybe you write a description of the different characters, and then maybe at the end you say, if you run into any of these outlaws, tell a trusted adult right away. So you're writing a description. Now, if you'd rather just focus on one outlaw, that's fine too. I'm just doing an example of all the outlaws. Perhaps I don't want to use this particular area. I can go ahead and click on this and hit delete, but I don't want this big open white space. So I'm going to click on this and make this bigger. Now, once I get done typing and I have my paragraph typed, I also want to make sure that it's using up the whole space. So let's say my paragraph only goes down to here and it's not using the whole text box, so I got a big open white space here. I might want to change my font size. I could change my font size. 16 is really about the highest you should go. Other than that, you can make it fit. You do want to have a well-rounded paragraph, so you're looking at about 6 sentences or thereabouts. Down in this area, your other piece that you need to have is you need to have one other rule that is covered in the videos that we watched. So maybe in here, I write something about cyberbullying. So I write cyberbullying. And again, this is too big, so I'm just going to adjust the size here. Still a little too big. Let's go just a little bit smaller. Let's do 24. And now I get this in here. I come down to 24. All right. Oops, I forgot the B in there. Oh, and now, of course, it's too big again. Okay, so maybe I go down to 22. Okay, so I have something on cyberbullying. I would want to come down here then and write a description. Or maybe I write something on netiquette. Maybe I write something on, and I'm going to make this a lot smaller. Maybe I write something on password protection. And I write something about not sharing passwords or not choosing passwords that are difficult to other people to guess. Maybe I write something in there. Okay, so it needs to be something else that was talked about in the video that we watched other than the Webville Outlaws. Okay. Up here, maybe I decide I don't want that text. I could get rid of it. Again, my picture, I'm going to want to use that space. I need to find a space somewhere to put my name, so I'm going to go ahead and write my name in here. I do need to put the date, so I can write that in numbers or with the whole word September. I'm going to choose numbers this time. So that is just fine. This one has a caption, so I would want to write what this is a picture of. So maybe I write Clicky, Nettie, and Webster. And I probably want to have that centered in the center of that box. Then I need to go and I need to find pictures. So I'm going to go into Firefox and I'm going to type in Google Images. And once I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and type in Webville Outlaws. Once I have this, I can click on the picture I want. So perhaps I want this picture here. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Then I'm going to right click on this and go to Save Image As. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I save this to the desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. Then in here, I'm going to click on the picture. I'm going to go to Insert, Photo, Picture from File, and I'm going to choose that image that I had selected. Now I can go ahead and delete this, and I can then make this picture fit where I want it to be. Okay, that looks a little big, so I want to make sure that's a little distorted, so I'm going to bring it down just a bit. And I'm actually going to click on this and just move it so it's centered just a bit more right there. And there we go. And maybe I want to make it just a bit smaller so it's just centered. All right, down here, Maybe I come back and I find another picture of the Leadville Outlaws, and maybe this time I'm looking at something like this. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Again, I'm going to right click, save image as. I can go ahead and save that to the desktop. Then, once it is saved to the desktop, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. I'm going to click on here, because that's my picture. I'm going to go to Insert, Photo, Picture from File, choose the one that I need, go ahead and hit Insert. Again, it didn't insert it right there, so this is where I'm going to want to delete that and get this in here. If I want to turn it, I could. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Maybe down here I want to put a picture of a computer or something like that. Maybe I do Router the dog. I can be kind of creative with what I put. If I find that I don't need a piece like this one, I can click on it and hit delete, and that will delete those different pieces that I don't want. Okay? Your job is to create a newsletter that shares information with other students about how to stay safe online. You guys will have this class period. Then next class period, we have our test that we're going to be starting with. And then you'll have the remainder of the class period to work on your document here. We will save this at the end of class. This will be saved as Safety Newsletter. And I will go through how to save at the end of class so that we review how to do that and the different steps to that process. All right.